Yo, what's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. And with me is always my buddy, my coach, pal, the man with the plan, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend himself, John Meleka. But before we ask John how he's doing today, listeners, I got to ask for your help. Please make sure to give us a 5-star rating if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to leave us a comment. That helps us out oh so greatly. If you don't listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just please make sure to subscribe, whether it's on Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it, we are there. Also, go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Go to Knicks, Jets, etc. on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Make sure to hit that like button whenever you watch a video, and make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. And while you're over there, make sure to check out Winning Picks Weekly. We got John and video producer Greg going down the NFL slate, NFL playoffs. We got NBA action coming up. They'll help you get your bets in and make sure you guys are betting smartly and reasonably on the right things. So don't worry, guys. Make sure to go check those guys out
this past weekend.
That they did. And then last but certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms, whether that's Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. You know about it. We're all over the place. All right, guys. Now, with that being said, John, my man, how are you doing today, bro? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good, as we just alluded to it, because of Winning Picks Weekly. Thank you for that shout out. Greg and I, we killed it this past weekend, but dude, what a weekend of NFL games. The NFL tried to gain an extra weekend of this super wild card weekend. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Yep. We got the best games of the year. And of course, our New York Knicks, man. Our New York Knicks finally got a W. And it feels like we're on top of the world just because we got one stupid W against the hurting Clippers. So I'm great. I'm great right now. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Got to catch some of the NFL action just like you this weekend. This weekend was just great for football, man. Like you had the Bengals going off and getting that dub. You had like yesterday's game, honestly, Packers 49ers was just a freaking way to just like I couldn't believe that. It was a block punt that we're talking about. Poor quarterback play on both sides. And then you get the two great games.
Special teams, man. I might have to tell you, special teams. We'll go over on the football pod, but special teams, dude.
Special teams, man, coming through in the clutch. Packers special team sucks. I can tell you that much from seeing how it ended. Then today you had the Bucks, man. You had the Rams. No one ever talks about how Matt Stafford's also good in the 2-minute drill, and it's finally good to see another quarterback that's actually good in the 2-minute drill go against another guy that's good in the 2-minute drill. It's like
you're all over that.
I love it, man. Bringing up the stat. Oh yeah, 43. It was before this game. It was 42 game-winning drives. 43 today. Put some respect on Matthew Stafford's name. He was just out there in Detroit withering away. Now he's actually on a good team. Also, how do you let Cleveland Browns, you suck for letting Odell Beckham Jr. go. I don't know how you couldn't. Your quarterback situation, yikes. The fact that you couldn't get to that man, oh well indeed. But then we also had to top it off, man, the game of all games, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. Oh my God, talk about perfect quarterback play from on both sides of the ball, man. Like truly, like just a showing. I feel Bills fans, I know some of you are out there because you're Knicks fans too. I feel bad for you guys. You guys had it, 13 seconds left. Damn, man. The Bills defense just got slaughtered in the end, dude. It
both
sucks.
Defenses.
Yeah, both defenses, but really, you had 13 seconds, dude. You had 13 seconds. I hate prevent defense. Prevent defenses suck, man. But you know what? You know what defense didn't really suck that bad today? The Knicks defense.
Finally,
they showed up today, and our offense was starting to click today too. Against as you pointed out, the hurting LA Clippers, who are without Kawhi Leonard and PG-13 Paul George. For those of you that don't know, Knicks finally get a W and the home stand with a win before they go out to Cleveland tomorrow for the first of their back-to-back. Clippers were the first of the back-to-back. That's the second game of the back-to-back, but you know what I mean. But man, after a terrible homestand where we just lost to the Hornets, the Wolves, especially the Pelicans, I feel bad for you, bro.
Tell me about it, bro.
You were there at all three games. How's your soul feeling? How's your body
I'm better
feeling?
now. I'm
You
over
better
it.
now? Okay. Good thing this weekend was long enough until today. You had Friday,
I'm over it.
you had Saturday to recover from those games. Now you felt good today after a win. You got some really good football action in today. I'm sure your bets hit too. So you're probably on top of the world right now. But man, Knicks got a really needed win today. And I don't know, man. What are your takes away from it? Let me get your thoughts because I've been speaking for a little bit.
So the Knicks today, as you mentioned, finally got that matinee win, which they last year we were really off on that, right? We were talking typical Knicks where we never win them. They proved us wrong. This year, we tried to piggyback off of last year with that momentum, and honestly, they've been really bad in the matinee games. Here we are on a Sunday. I'm really a must win before we get on this road trip, and they showed out. I mean, they showed out. What can I say? We're all over Randle every game, but he did well, right? 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, he did fine there. So I guess we'll start off there because if he did bad, we would be screaming about him right away. But it's the RJ Barrett show. It's literally the RJ Barrett show. 28 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, his numbers, what is he? Over the last 10 games, like 23 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Like, he's been killing it, even though I feel like he's so predictable, right? He just, like, drives to the left and tries to finish at the hoop. Most of the time, it feels like he doesn't finish, even though the numbers say different. I mean, he was 9 for 24 today. The numbers say right today. But, I mean, he's been doing a little better finishing with his left at the rim. He had that little weird experience. What did you think about that little? I know he was frustrated. It was definitely a foul on Zubac, but then he intentionally fouled him when there was no advantage at all, and then he just so he could like get
Chirp
a
at the
tech
refs?
and yeah, but he didn't trip. He like literally cursed. Like it was obvious. It was clear. Like what do you think about that? Like some people were excited. Yeah, show some grit, but dude, the refs already have it out for us. It's already in the. Okay, man, we learned that referees, especially in the NBA, have pregame meetings about tendencies, about how they feel about other players and other coaches, and the tendencies to get a technical foul or not. So it's obvious that they have it out for us. You know, however you want to put it. So I don't know. What do you think about that? What do you think about? I mean, our leader, right? He just snuck into the top 15 for top jersey sales in the entire NBA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's killing over the last 10 games. We go as far as he goes, apparently. What do you think about him doing that today?
Man, I didn't really
That was during the Clippers fake comeback too.
Yeah, I mean, because we needed a win, I wasn't really a fan of it of doing that, but I get it. You know, he doesn't necessarily he's not unlike Randle. This is where if we're going to try to parse it. Unlike Randle, who's constantly chirping at the refs, or even Tom Thibodeau, who's constantly chirping at the refs, RJ doesn't really chirp at the refs like that. And he gets fouled a lot and doesn't get called for a lot of the fouls that he has to absorb. So for something like that today, I can understand when you're saying like, yo, put some respect on my name, man. Like I've been killing it over the last couple of weeks. I've been putting work out here. You don't really give me the benefit of the doubt when it comes to being fouled, you know, and I think like to some extent you need to just put the rest into place. So if it's like a one-off occurrence, fine. But in a game like today where you need a win, especially when you're going on a gruesome road trip, it's a questionable situation to go in there. So I could see it both ways. I wasn't too hurt over him doing that. It was just, for me, it was more so like the timing of it where it comes to like, we really just need to win. Don't give the Clippers any chance to come back and get back in this game. That's my number one thought. But overall, at the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me since a win is a win. It didn't really impact the game that much. But hey, man, sometimes, like I said, you got to just let the refs know, like, hey, like, can I get a little respect out here, man? Like I'm getting whacked.
Well,
like
he does. Help. It doesn't help. Like the next play, he took the ball back. Obviously made contact, and obviously the ref's not going to call foul after that. You're not going to reward him for screaming at you last play. You're just not, unless it's a blatant foul that you have to call.
But you know what he did do at the end of the game? He pulled him over and apologized to all of them, saying that he lost his cool in the middle of the game. So he did apologize to the refs. And I think that the end part, something that probably Julius and Tibbs don't really do. I think when you do that and you're saying, hey, man, I'm sorry that I went off. It's in the heat of the game. Like, I'm frustrated, all these type of things, being a little bit more human, because at the end of the day, refs are humans. Like, they take that into consideration if you treat them like people. I forget where I heard it, but if you don't call them the refs, right? You don't, hey, ref, call them by their names. I forget which podcast I was listening to, but when you treat them like a human being, like, that goes a long way in any business, any relationship. So the fact that he did that, I think may benefit him in the long term. But at the end of the day, I agree with you where it's like, come on, man, like, the refs are going to call what the refs are going to call. Like, you got to earn that star power in order to get those type of calls. But
I mean, you could chirp at them, like, running back, but like to like, he like made a spectacle of it. Like, he literally intentional fouled and then screamed at the ref. You know what I'm saying? Like, he intentionally not only fouled, but intentionally got a tech. There was no other call that could have been made there. So it was kind of weird. But speaking of his post-game comments, right? I'm glad that he's not too excited about the fact that he's slowly becoming this underground superstar, right? As we mentioned, he's got the jersey sales. He's killing over the last 10 games. Clearly, he's becoming the number one on the Knicks, and we're going as far as he takes us. Because if he has a bad game, even, like, regardless of what Julius does, if RJ has a bad game, we lose. And if RJ has a good game, we win. And we've starting to notice that a little bit. And even though it's kind of underground, he's getting into his own, man. I remember, it feels like 10 years ago, but it was just last year when we're like, is RJ ever going to get over 20 points? And now he's obviously going to get over 25. Is he going to get 30 or not? And I like this occurrence. It's really big that he went 3 for 5 from 3, and that changes everything. Like, when his threes are going in, changes everything. When he's 7 for 7 from free throw, hallelujah. The Knicks are 85% from free throw today. I mean, it's easy to say, right? When the ball falls in the hoop, we win the game.
For sure.
45% from 3, 85% from free throw. I mean, that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
But we'll stick with RJ. I'm glad that he's not too excited off this Clippers win. We're not 500 yet. It looks like we're just fighting for a play-in game at this point. So what do you think about RJ saying, he's not satisfied?
I'm happy, man. The fact that he's showing some hunger in that post-game interview is really encouraging, because the fact that he said that, I haven't really accomplished anything, I'm hungry for more, and that he wants more. Yo, give this kid the keys. I was on Knicks Fan TV today for post-game, and, CP and I were just saying, and JD called in, where you just got to give RJ the keys at this point. You pointed it out, John. You said it, like, we win with RJ, and it's like he's becoming the face. He's doing all these things. Give this kid the keys, okay? We still need a point guard, but the fact that the ball's in his hands, and you see when he gets going, it makes it easier for Randle. It makes it easier for Fournier. It makes it easier for everybody else. So, and we see it, man. He had 14 boards today, 28 points, 6 assists. The kid can facilitate. There's a playmaker. That's the whole aspect of his game when he was in high school and college. When you watch him, it's like, okay, this kid can bully. He can get into the lane, and he can play make. And we just hadn't seen it until now that it's translating. He's getting more comfortable in the league. So honestly, like, I think if you're Tibbs right now and you see how it's been playing, especially when you're without Kemba in the rotation, like, Kemba was out today. Another day without Kemba, and you saw how it was clicking last week without Kemba, and you had Burks in the starting rotation, and it was running through RJ and just giving him that leeway just to operate and be that offense, because he's more dynamic, man, instead of what Randle's doing right now. The fact that he's constantly willing to go downhill, it has changed the look of this team, and especially when him and Julius go downhill, it really opens everything up for everyone on the perimeter. It opens up stuff for Mitch in the paint. Like, they're just able to get guys going. Look, I was looking up some numbers before I got on here, and since Christmas, really when RJ came back from his health and safety protocols, in the last 13 games, the Knicks are 7-6 in the last 13 games, as he's averaging 13.8 drives per game, more than the beginning of the season when he was averaging single digits between 7 to 8. He's really ticked it up, and he's finishing 51% of his shots around the rim. As of right now, he's in the 38th percentile, 30. So I think 32nd, 38th percentile, somewhere around there with finishing. Not the greatest in the NBA, but it's improvement over his first 2 seasons in the league. And you're seeing how he's becoming more dynamic in that. You see some mid-range jumpers. You see when he can hit the three, everything just starts to fall into place. But the fact that you're seeing this kid drive and seeing that we're 7 out of 6 when he does this, because we can look at the Timberwolves game and he was forcing the issue, but he didn't really have that capability to let the offense run through him. So I like what I'm seeing from RJ, man. He's really taken that, as David Zenon said, that third year RJ that we're seeing, especially when he came back from health and safety protocols. And what we saw before he went into health and safety protocols against the Pelicans. Really like what I'm seeing from RJ, man. I'd say let the offense run through him because Julius, we don't know what's going on with him, man. He's, as he said today, PR kept him away from being interviewed today. Maybe he's got some stuff going off the court. You see that he's in his head. He's frustrated with the fans. And more than that, even the last game against the Pelicans where he's just pushing Evan Fournier. And you want to talk about chirping at the refs. He was chirping at the refs. Like yelling at them before the half was over, comes back out, starts talking to them again, like in his head. So just let RJ be that guy, man. Let RJ be that guy.
Okay, first of all, RJ does not get a pass for going 6 for 16 from field goal, 2 for 7 from 3, and 3 for 6 from free throw against the Timberwolves. Okay, so he likes to have these games where he's inefficient. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it did run through him. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we didn't do anything. He just missed. And honestly, today versus the Clippers, the Knicks got lucky. The Clippers missed so many shots, dude. So many free throws, so many threes. Like the Clippers could have easily come back in this game. Like if Paul George was here, honestly, it would be a lot closer than it was. We tend to do this a lot of games where we're sort of relying on teams to miss shots, and it's because our entire team is inefficient. And I know you're talking about Randle and his frustration. You want to get into him getting that walk-off bucket and the tech, which pisses me off. I think everyone is ridiculous for talking about him and Fournier, like completely out of context. And
yeah, it's not big to do.
It's literally it's Fournier's fault. Like Randall's obviously yelling at the ref. He obviously got a tech. He's obviously running back to the locker room. Why are you grabbing his arm for? Just leave him alone.
Well, no, because because Julius got one tech and he could have gotten a second tech and then gotten ejected.
He's like Fournier is behind him and Randall is going to the locker room. Like, why are you pulling him?
He's just saying, relax, man. Just relax. That's all he's trying to say.
You're pulling me the other way to tell me to relax. Like, honestly, Fournier's an idiot there. But that's neither here nor there. That's not Randall's pissed at the ref. He's saying attack. Fournier, if you want to tell him to calm down, go in the locker room, tell him to calm down. Like you pulling his arm right away, that's very silly. On the second note with Randall, you said there's a weird PR thing going on. Okay, so everybody knows that Dolan controls who and what talks to the media for the Garden. They kind of run like the Patriots, honestly, but we don't talk about it like that. So the fact that the Knicks didn't make Randall available after that game is actually really huge. And I think there's a lot more to that than people are noting. First of all, Randall said something about that in the post game today. He said, shout out to Mr. Dolan for that. So he acknowledged it, in public, how big that was for, Mr. Dolan to do that. And I think that's a big deal. I honestly think that means that the Knicks are going to take care of Randall. So like if he wants to be traded, he's going to be traded to somewhere he wants to go. Like Dolan doesn't just do that for people. That's kind of how I see it. There was a couple of special people that he treated for Knicks media, but there's a lot that he didn't. And he's treating Randall like a superstar in the Garden, which I think was a pretty big deal. People were getting at him. The Knicks are in a slide, and Randall didn't ditch them. The Knicks said, you don't have to talk to the media. So also Mitch Robinson, doing that thing with Berman and him not getting in trouble about it, or at least, us finding out. I mean, I think the Knicks are are a little together on the team chemistry there. I don't think it's like Randle is crazy versus all like the media is kind of portraying it to be honest with you. I think the Knicks are having a little mini feud with the media, to be honest with you. I think
that's been
and the
established
refs.
for
Like I think they're all together on both of those. I don't think it's like a Randle versus all type deal.
I mean, the Knicks organization being against media has been the test of time. Like you can go listen to Shattered and hear what Frank Isola has to hear about the media. You can see what Berman has to say. Like they had, who was it? Was it the Daily News that they didn't invite to one of the press conferences after the draft?
It's all
RJ
Berman.
Barrett. So, well, he's a Post, but
yeah, I think it was a Post. No,
it was the Daily News. They didn't invite the Daily News. But you know, like that's nothing new. And I think when you look at Randle, I mean, what do you want to do? You have a guy who's struggling. Do you want him to be up there, answer questions, and answer the same thing about the fans and saying, shut the fuck up and all these other things? Like if I was the PR, I'd be like, we're not having this guy out here. We're not going to go this route either. Like, I think that just brings more drama.
Dolan never does that, man. Think about Melo.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you on that. Like,
it just never happens. It's just interesting. That's all I'm saying. I think the Knicks have his back as an organization, which is just a different tale from what you think. You know, you're from
I think it's also
some rogue actor. I think they're actually all together here.
Yeah, but I think it's also
fighting
changed.
Fournier's an idiot, dude. Why are you holding my arm? I'm walking.
I'm
pissed off.
I don't really care. That whole incident, I don't really care about, man.
I'm just saying, it's so stupid. Like, oh, Randall's off his rocker. No, he's not, dude. He's just pissed off at the ref. He got fouled and won. He got the tech. He's going to the locker room. Just shut up, leave me alone. You're pulling my arm back. Like, what do you want me to do? Turn around? What if he turns around? What is he gonna do? Say, calm down? Like, dude, just like leave me alone. Like, let me just go to the locker room. I'm heated. Let's move on. I don't know.
He didn't move on. He came out in the third quarter and talked to the refs again. If you move on, you don't come out to the refs and keep talking to them.
Well, I'm saying you pulling my arm doesn't help. I know he played bad that game. He had 4 points. So I'm not like, I agree, but for the most part, he's been killing. I don't know. He's obviously detached in some way, shape, or form, which we can get into now. Like I think it's more because the rest of the team sucks. Okay, can I just say that out loud? Am I allowed to say that? Like Fournier, Kemba, and Alec Burks are eating up like the majority of those minutes, along with the point guard, whatever's going on with the point guard situation. But like those guys are eating up the minutes, and they suck. you know what I'm trying to say? So like it must be so frustrating. And I think he's like the only passive aggressive thing that I think he's doing is the assists. Like he's making it a point to get these assists, and you could see him like rushing in for rebounds. Like he stole a couple from Noel today. He's like flying in from out of nowhere to like grab these boards. So it's not that he's stat padding, but you could tell that he's making a point to like grab the boards, do the assists, and like kind of be passive on the shots. Just like not even look at the rim. Like what game was it? The Pelicans game? He didn't even look at the rim the first half, dude.
Yeah, and that like that was probably like the best that we've seen Randle just like trying to facilitate. But even when you say like, look, man, Fournier, Walker, like Burks, he's not in his role, so I wouldn't say that he sucks. But for Walker, he just doesn't fit here. Fournier, I don't think he fits here either.
None of them fit. Burks just doesn't fit. Like they just don't fit.
Burks doesn't fit in the starting rotation. He fits more off the bench and like back in his old role. That's really what it is. But we're not going to do that because. This is where I say it needs to run through RJ. And going back to like what we saw during the Wolves, when Kemba came back in, you saw that RJ went back to being in the corner again. And you give a look at he shot out of 16 shots, 7 of them came from 3-point land because they're like, all right, you're going to spot up and shoot. And then he tried to force himself and he was just completely out of the rhythm. Where when you have it in his hands today, you're like, oh, okay, this looks a lot different than the Minnesota Timberwolves game. And even without Kemba all last week, it just looks different. He just plays like, sure, he's getting his, but how you get yours and what you're able to do is different. And what we're seeing right now is that RJ needs the ball in his hands, right? And that's the issue, is that we have RJ, Randle, Fournier, Kemba. These are not all off-ball players. You can't have 4 guys who need to be on fucking ball. That's just insanity. And we all thought it could work. And then when Evan Fournier is like, oh, let me do some stuff. It's like, I don't really care that you could do some stuff on ball. I'm looking for RJ to develop and be that guy now. Like really, and we're seeing that
27
works.
shots against the Wolves, bro. 27 shots.
Yeah, and so like it was an exciting game. Like we were there for it. We were excited, but do you really want Fournier to be that guy taking 20 plus shots? Not really. Like I want to see my guy RJ Barrett do it because that's who we're working around. Fournier for whatever it is, he's only here for a cup of coffee. Whether that's this season, next season, whenever the fuck he gets traded.
I'm
But
hoping it's this season. I'm hoping we ship him and Brooks out.
Yeah. I don't know about.
But we'll see. We'll see how it works.
Kemba needs to go, man, because he just doesn't fit. And I thought you could need him after that stint when you were gone. Like he had that whole Kemba like resurgence. Yeah. But the fact that he, RJ, Fournier, and Randle, like when they are on the court together, it is just a pile of mush.
Yeah,
sheesh.
It's not going to work out.
It's not going to work
out. Something has to change, and I mean. Let's talk about IQ, dude. That you're talking about Kemba. Is the elephant in the room at this point IQ at point guard? Because today he looked pretty good.
Today he looked awesome at point guard. I third year IQ. Let's see it. That's what I'm saying. I still want IQ off the bench, and the reason why, like, I get there's people out there who want him in the starting rotation. He looks good in the starting rotation. I get that. I also look at who we play today. Like. We're playing a down bad Clippers team. And the fact that IQ was able to look good as a point guard during this is encouraging because that means he's growing. However, when we're playing good teams, right? Like when we play an athletic team like we saw against the Timberwolves and we're asking for that, he struggled. But today, against a lesser opponent, he's able to go out there and look good. And that's the good stuff. I want to see that gives him confidence. It gives him some building blocks to work with. But IQ looked good today, man. If you want to talk about an all-around game from like being like from a point guard perspective, outside of him constantly picking up his dribble inside the paint instead of just being able to curl out and pull it back out, he was doing a good job, man. He was able to get downhill, and either get some layups or find guys in the passing lane, like how he found Randle for that emphatic dunk. You know, those are good growing signs from IQ. I thought he had a very well balanced game today playing point guard, but I wouldn't say that he's ready to be the starter yet. Although I understand the argument for it. Are you leaning towards it because you brought it up, man? So are you thinking about putting IQ in that starting rotation to cure our point guard woes?
No, dude, keep him on the bench. Get rid of Burks. Give Grimes minutes.
Your fourth quarter Burks, man. You're giving up your fourth quarter Burks stock. My God,
I know
what a difference a season makes.
Well, honestly, because I think Grimes and Quickley can manage that.
Okay,
in the 2-3. And if we can get something out of Burks' good contract, ship him out with Fournier. And to be honest with you, dude, this happens because of Cam Reddish. I think Cam Reddish could fulfill that role. I know he only had 5 minutes today. I'm not going to go crazy. But, dude, he looked pretty, like, I don't know. I think we're just slow playing him just to slow play him. But Cam Reddish looks absolutely fine. I trust him a lot in that shooting guard role. If we're not asking him to do too much.
Oh, he's playing small forward. He is not playing shooting guard. He is playing small forward, my man.
That's because he has to, right? Yeah. That's because it's full. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's because you have Burks and Fournier there, and they're both twos. And so Reddish will be the 3 there. But if you ship them both out, you could put him next to RJ.
And I think he'd be the 3, and RJ goes back to the 2. That's just my thought. I think that's
okay. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Yeah, whatever. They can interchange those. But I was just saying I want him with RJ.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
Exactly. And then that makes Burks and Fournier expendable, fortunately or unfortunately. And maybe kind of frees Obi a little bit. I don't want to get too much into that. We kind of beat that into the ground. But hopefully that frees Obi a little bit. I'm excited about Cam Reddish.
Let's rip off the Band-Aid. You're bringing up Cam Reddish. There's big elephant in the room, man. I don't know how this happened, because when we talked Knicks for so long, man, even before we did this podcast, you and I, whenever we talked, it'd be like, yo, man, can we just get some talent on this team? Now we're at a point where it's like, God damn, we have a lot of talent. Like, we look at this roster, and regardless if we say, Kemba sucks because he doesn't fit here, or Fournier doesn't suck, like, they're still talented.
The same position, Alex.
Yeah. I know. I'm not saying the same position.
They're flooded. I'm saying they're flooded. We have a lot of talent, but they all do the same exact thing.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a good thing from what years past, where it's like we're looking just like when we're asking for Frank Ntilikina, it's like, all right, man, I don't need to see Jarrett Jack out here eating up minutes. Can I see what the young guys got at least? You know what I mean? Like we're asking, I feel like we're in a different position now where we're asking for these young guys to play because we see Grimes with talent. We see Quickley with talent. We see Obi with talent. You see Cam with talent. And it's like, can we see what these guys can do? Because these guys look like positive players. You know what I mean? It's not, I'm just curious to see what the hell somebody can do. It's like, I think for these guys, for their development and just for the team, they can still help. So ripping the Band-Aid off, man, what is the 10-man rotation you need to see? And who are you shipping out to see that, man? What's going on here? I want your takes on it.
I mean, I don't know right now. Obviously,
well, it's hot, man. This is a hot take. It's a hot take. Who do you want? There's no right or wrong answer. Let's hear it.
Well, here's the thing. We have exactly 10 now, right? Because one of our centers is gone. So we have exactly 10.
He may be back.
You think Mitch is going to be back?
He said he said it was only tweaked today. He tweeted that out. So he didn't hurt himself.
I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah. Well, breaking news. Mitch Robinson's fine.
Yeah. Sources Mitch. Okay.
So, I mean, sources him. Taj Gibson's obviously going to get the bone out there. So it's 10, right? But here's the thing. Burks and Fournier together. Like, what was their plus minus today? +9 for Fournier, +1 for Burks. I mean,
yeah,
them together today, like they just don't. They're just so mediocre, man. I could take both of those guys out in like in a Moneyball fashion. I think I could take both of those guys out and just put Cam Reddish in there and get the same exact results, and then still have an empty spot. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think that's really my point there. Kemba gotta go. Your boy D Rose, who's chilling in your background over there. Yep. Hopefully he comes back and has an impact off the bench. So we do that. D Rose, IQ,
Grimes.
Hopefully Grimes. I was about to say, yeah. Hopefully Grimes, and then Obi, and then one of our centers. Right, just call it Noel. That'll be our second, and then that'll leave X at point guard, right? Because like who knows? And then Cam Reddish, which you had as soon as we had the trade in, RJ, Randle, and Mitch.
So then you can keep Burks.
I mean, you could keep Burks at the 1, but then like we're gonna barely make it out of the first round, if that.
I mean, let's be real. What are we doing this season to begin with?
I just need a point guard. If we get a point guard, the whole world changes. So like, if you could somehow, finagle this where you get rid of Fournier, Burks, I don't want to say McBride, but throw in McBride and like a first round pick and get a real starting point guard, the whole team changes.
Like Jalen
because
Brunson?
Then Randall doesn't have to be
like Jalen Brunson.
That's too much for Jalen Brunson, but like a real like just X starting point guard that changes the whole dynamic of the team. Like Randall fits in perfectly now. IQ and Rose they're off the bench in their own roles. Cam Reddish is good playing 3D. Like everybody's just chilling. So RJ could take over the games. Randall could just be himself. So that's my perspective. Going forward.
I like it. And I think if you're moving Burks and Fournier and you're looking for a real point guard, and I keep thinking about this, and we talked about it at the game too, man, the more and more it makes sense to get someone like Jalen Brunson, just because, and the reason is I'm looking at someone who could just take a back seat
to start though.
Yeah, I think you could have him start because he could take. He's
more of a backup to me. He's like the perfect role for like to be the backup on the bench, and then D Rose is kind of expendable. Like D Rose, if you want to come back, we have some minutes for you to play that role. If not, sounds good. We have Brunson. Like that's for me. I still don't want him as that 1X. Like it just doesn't work for me.
I understand that, and like he's starting right now next to Luka. But the way I look at it, man, is that
Luka's a superstar, bro. You could start a banana next to him.
I understand that. I'm not saying that he changes like the entire offense dramatically, but the way I look at Jalen Brunson is that I think he gives you stable play, and I think that's really what. And this is not saying this is like my dream. I'm looking at how the team is trying to build it, right? If you're trying to run this thing through RJ and Randall getting most of the touches and just having a point guard that's a connector, someone who could just get it to somebody and just figure out who to orchestrate it to. I think Jalen Brunson could do that. And you don't really need to ask him to score much except for like the 8-10 points that you're asking for. And if you get that out of your point guard, I think that's fine. As long as you get Randle and RJ going and let the ball stay in their hands, because Jalen Brunson is also a guy that I don't necessarily see as someone needs the ball in their hands all the time. And we see that when he's next to Luka. He's like, all right, Luka, it's your show. I'm here. And I feel like that's why it kind of makes sense the more I think about it. If you put someone like a De'Aaron Fox in that mix, you know, he's not really a shooter. He's another guy that you need to have the ball in his hand. It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
The thing is, dude, when we talk about De'Aaron Fox, the whole team changes. We lose everyone. We lose IQ, so we lose the bench.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We lose Randle. Like, so the front court changes. Obi goes to the front. Now we don't know what goes on there. Now the bench is depleted even more. Like, the whole dynamic has changed because you don't just add him in. Brunson, if you could just add him in, you know, for Fournier and Burks and like, but the contracts obviously don't match, and then we have to pay Brunson, which that kind of scares me low key, right? But I know our front office changed. I know I have trust in them. Me, you know, Leon Rose and I, we even wear the same shoes every time I go. Like we're seeing eye to eye. Like, I trust this man. Like, even the Cam Reddish trade, we're on the same page with Grimes. Like, we are really seeing eye to eye here. I trust him to not max out Brunson like the old school Knicks.
We wouldn't max him out. And
however,
here's the thing.
It's just like, dude, it's just like I still have that little thing in the back of my, you know, back of my heart, the back of my head. Like, let me just like it's a little scary, like, having him there. Like, if he's pinned as a number one, what if we pay him as a number one?
But
and then all of a sudden he becomes a number two, and now we have like, we're paying a starting point guard money to be our number two. It already becomes an issue now. IQ's money is up. We have to pay him more than Brunson. It just becomes an issue, dude. And then we still don't have a starting point guard, right? Doesn't that sound so familiar?
Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's how
RJ's contract. You have to max him out.
Here's how I look at it. Yeah, I know it's a lot of contracts coming up at once, because you also got to pay Cam too if you want to keep Cam.
Cam Reddish coming up this year.
Yeah, like, Cam and RJ are the same year. So
that's what I'm saying. So listen, dude, if you get Brunson, you're gonna have to pay Brunson, RJ, and Cam Reddish in 1 year. And you have Fournier and Randle on the books, plus obviously Burks, and it doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's the thing. So I was doing a little research, because I keep hearing how people are saying that Randle and Fournier are not team-friendly deals, and I just scoff at that because I think it's hilarious.
I didn't hear that at all.
There's people out there. There's people out there who don't understand that the cap just constantly increases, and that if you Randall's not even going to take up 20%. He's going to be around 20%. He's not even going to take up 25% of the cap.
Burks, Noel, and Fournier have amazing contracts.
And Fournier, he's in the same price range as like Bojan Bogdanovic, Bogey, guys who are like all in that same role. Like, if you want to talk about like even Eric Bledsoe, who's playing backup, I look at Bledsoe as like a waste. You want to talk about, man? Yeah, you want to talk about a bad contract? Bledsoe was a bad contract, but yet people talk
always gets the butt of the contract jokes.
He is, man. I mean, he got accepted by the Bucks. Playoff liability. Didn't know who you're gonna get.
Poor guy.
Stinks, man. Stinks. So we get for talking at a barbershop, I guess. But regardless, when I look at I agree with you, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to contracts, when you talk about having to pay Brunson, Cam, and RJ, I see, you know, they're projecting next year's salary cap, because it's 112 right now. They're saying 119. And then you're going to get the new negotiation for the CBA, which they're saying after that contract, we could potentially see max deals going up. If Steph Curry was groundbreaking with the first $200 million max deal, they're saying max deals after the new CBA will be $300 million. So if you sign these guys now and they age, right, with the time that the new CBA comes around, it's really peanuts that we're talking about, because it's not going to increase. You're still getting the same money that you signed that day. So I know it's a long way to think out about it, but that's one way to look at these upcoming discussions when it comes to contract. And we know Brunson is looking for 80. We know Cam is probably looking for 80. We know RJ's probably going to demand 80. Although if he keeps playing like this, he's going to if he can average 20 like this and do what he's doing today, it's going to be more than 80, man. But
listen, if we re-sign RJ Barrett, he's going to be the first rounder
We'll have
the Knicks
confetti on the
re-signed
podcast.
Since Charlie Ward.
We'll have confetti on this podcast like we did when we beat the Miami Heat for one game. Oh no, it was the Celtics. Or was it the Celtics?
Throw confetti.
Celtics. Was it the Celtics?
No, they threw confetti versus the Heat.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
actually throw confetti.
Right.
I would actually throw confetti if we re-sign the second first rounder since Charlie Ward. I would throw confetti.
We'll get it. We'll get it going. Don't worry.
You know what else I'll throw confetti? I will throw confetti if Mitch Robinson comes back healthy. And if we can beat the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, you think we could beat the Cavs tonight, man?
Oh.
It's 7.5. We're 7.5 point underdogs right now at Cleveland. Tonight, what you got? A little winning picks weekly action.
Oh my God! For some winning picks weekly.
What do you got,
right.
man?
Man, this is tough, and I'm they've been playing really well, man.
I know.
Evan Mobley, that's rookie of the year in my eyes. Him and Scotty Barnes are like fighting for it, but I gotta give it to Evan Mobley the way he's playing, dude. And then Jarrett Allen's just playing on another level. If we gotta have Nerlens Noel going out there against Jarrett Allen,
yeah, I know.
Rough.
And Taj about to get some big time minutes tomorrow.
And then you got Lauri Markkanen playing. Oh, I'm not too worried about Lauri Markkanen, but then you have Darius Garland who's playing,
nice
who's hooping.
Mobley killed us last time. He was throwing it in my eye.
Okoro too. Okoro's been tough this season. He's been a tough dude. Not necessarily
he's going to be guarding up our guards. We're going to shoot like 13% from three again. That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be beautiful and ugly at the same time. I'm not too confident about this game, man. This is why we needed to win this past week because it's just rough, dude. I'm not too confident about this game, man. I hope I'm wrong about it. I'm just not really confident for the Knicks going to Cleveland.
Ridiculous. Cavs, Heat, Bucks.
We got the Heat too. Oh,
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It sounds like your old school college schedule, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You got those. Just a terrible class. We have Cavs, Heat, Bucks all on the road. I mean, to be fair, the Knicks have been better on the road.
Yeah.
However, the Heat are on fire. No pun intended. And the Milwaukee Bucks stink right now, but they are the Milwaukee Bucks, and they're at home. Like, what do you got? What do you got right now? What do you got? We have to beat the Cavs, dude. We have to. I'm just not confident, man. I'm really not confident. I think it's especially with and the way I'm looking at it, this team is now deep. I mean, they replaced Ricky Rubio with Rajon Rondo, who's still a good like facilitating point guard. Look, I'm way more worried about Garland.
Oh, 100%. But I'm just saying, coming off the bench wise, like I'm just looking at like depth wise. Like, we're talking about Garland, Allen, Sexton, Mobley. Like Kevin Love's decided to play now because like, oh, the team's good. Let me be serious for once.
I low-key love Kevin Love, but anyway.
Yeah, and then you have Lauri Markkanen, and I mean, these guys are all playing well. I'm not confident, man. I'm really not. This team is gritty. They play good defense. They're up in your face, and they can score. And they're big. Yeah. They're big. And this is your team. This is exactly the team that you want, John.
I know, and they stretch. I love to have a Jared Allen and a Mobley with a Markkanen coming off the bench. It is exactly what I want. But honestly,
Mitchell Robinson.
That'd be amazing. Oh my goodness, that'd be amazing. I'll take D'Angelo Russell's contract on my head. I don't give a I'm dying for a point guard, and I really hope it's not John Wall.
It's not gonna be John Wall. Let's just cut
Are you sure?
right now. I'm 100% sure we're not getting John Wall.
Okay.
Anyone who thinks we're getting John Wall out here, please stop.
And I honestly don't want to trade Randle for De'Aaron Fox and mess up the team. I'd rather I need to get a point guard in here with our constructed team for the most part and just see how it is. So I could know. You know what I'm saying? We have to know. And we're never going to see the potential of our squad without a real point guard. Like, if we could just put LaMelo on this team somehow, man. Or like Chris Paul, or just like a point guard. I forgot. I was listening to an interview. Man, I forgot who it was with, actually. But they were talking about top point guards. And they said how, like, Steph Curry, you can't call him a point guard. He's a top guard, right? But he's not a point guard. He's a point first guy. Like, that's the opposite of what the Knicks need. Like, we don't need that kind of guy.
Yeah, no,
we need a LaMelo type. We need some guy who's just gonna Brunson.
I'm saying Brunson. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why. That's
I
why.
mean, I'm with you. I like Brunson.
That's
I
why I
still
want
want him
Alonzo Ball. That's
Yeah,
exactly. This is
exactly.
exactly why I want Alonzo Ball. And everyone's like, "Oh, but he's a little point guard. Oh,
That's why it's like that's why it's not Dame, man. That's why Dame's not the answer. Like these score first point guards are not the answer.
You have to if you want a score first point guard, then you have to move Randle or RJ. And you're not going to move RJ because wings take over this league.
I don't want that.
And if you
just
want to
leave me alone, just leave me alone. I don't care if you think I'm delusional. Just leave me alone. I don't want to do it. Just let
but
me.
It makes sense. But look, if you want to like this is a total side tangent. I was thinking about this today. You bring up the Warriors, you bring up Steph Curry and how he's not a point guard, but you know who the point guard is? It's Draymond Green. Like he's the guy facilitating. He's bringing the ball up. He's
don't
your
say
connector.
that out loud, dude. You're gonna give Randle ideas. Just move. Let's move.
Yeah,
on.
we're not doing that.
But
like seriously, like just think about it. Like before Kevin Durant ever got there, your top two scorers were Klay and Steph. Klay doesn't do playmaking. Steph can play make, but Draymond does most of the playmaking. But then you don't need Draymond to score because you're allowing the other two guys. They just all exist together without having to do too much. And they had Harrison Barnes over there doing Harrison Barnes thing. Well, I'm just talking about back in the day. I'm talking about back in the day with Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut. I know that's the team you really want, John, but that's another story, another time.
I just need a point guard, but it's fine. I'm just never gonna get one. I no matter how much I cry about it. But dude, let me get your take on. Do you think we're gonna lose to the Cavs?
I think we're gonna lose to the Cavs. We are definitely losing to the Heat. As much as I hate it. You think
we're never gonna win again?
Dude, I'm not saying we'll never win again, but it is. If we're gonna win one this week, it's the second of a back-to-back against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and those guys are tough, dude. Those guys are tough.
Damn, I don't give a damn, Alex. We're gonna win this game.
All right. I love the feeling, man. And I don't know if I said Colin Sexton. I know he's out, but it's just like that team is just stacked with talent. So it's, and the more I thought about Colin Sexton, it's like he doesn't fit what we need either. So, man, how do we get to the point where the Cavs are good? What happened over here?
Evan Mobley, your rookie of the year. You get the rookie of the year, you become good. It's that easy. And also, people sleep on Kevin Love. And also, they had the first round pick almost every year for like a decade, it feels like.
And what happened with that?
Well, nothing. Anthony Bennett.
I'm just saying, you could have the first round pick, the first overall pick for so many years and still not
Kyrie
do
Irving
shit.
worked out. LeBron worked out.
Yeah, well, LeBron, because Kyrie worked out because LeBron came back.
Those all first round picks.
Yeah, but
they all worked out. I think you keep getting them. Some of them work out.
I think the stat, I forget how many years ago, there's only 3 first overall picks that have won championships, and it's LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Kyrie Irving paired with LeBron James. But I'm just putting that out there. Yeah, you don't need the first overall pick, but yeah, the Cavs are good. Miami Heat are terrifying. Bucks are killing it right now too. I don't know, man. What are you feeling for this week?
So we have to win the Cavs game. There's a couple of there's a couple of really interesting stats for this game. I think the Knicks are number 2 in points allowed in the paint. We're not so good. We're allowing like top 5 field goal percentage, top 2. I think like 2-point field goal percentage. Like we are really not great these days, but at the same time, the Cavs are bad at ball security. So the Knicks have been causing some havoc defensively. Mm-hmm. Cam Reddish, as we talked about, ball hawk, in the passing lane. So I'm hoping, and then they don't have Rubio, and they have been slacking a little bit since he's been gone. But Mobley has picked up the slack there to just like win them back. And Kevin Love playing good does change everything for them.
It does.
Anyway, the Cavs are really good on defense. I think they're like number 3 in defensive efficiency this season. We just need to win,
man.
We just need to win. So the Knicks are going to win. They're going to cover 7.5. They're going to win money line this game. We're going to lose to the Heat by a lot. Okay. And then we're going to cover versus the Bucks. Because it's going to be double digits coming off that loss to the Heat. So it's going to be double digits. We're going to be double-digit dogs against the Bucks at Milwaukee. We're going to cover that game. It's going to be close. So I'm just hoping maybe 1 out of 3. We're not going to win 2 out of 3, but if the rubber matches the Bucks, I'm going to be happy about it. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to be confident going into that game, right? If we beat the Cavs, lose to the Heat, and then the rubber match for the week is the Bucks, I'll be happy about that. We'll see. We'll talk to you guys again before that game.
Yeah, I mean the good thing is that like the Knicks defense has been coming together. They're 14th right now, and I believe let me get a quick read on right here from how they've been doing from Christmas, because Christmas for a while they were the second best defense up until last week, and as of right now they are still top 3 defense in the NBA since Christmas Day. So their defense is coming around. The defense is coming around for the Knicks. It's the offense. All right, offense.
We can't put the ball in the basket.
It's 26, man. 26 since Christmas Day. So it's been a little rough.
So yeah. All right. I'm hoping the Bucks of the rubber game here. You have 0-3 week. Not great. Let's hope you're wrong, man.
I hope I am wrong. I hope we get the Cavs tomorrow, man, because we really need it
tonight.
Tonight we need it. We need it. But guys, thank you for tuning in for another Knicks episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. I think that covers it for today. But you guys know what to do. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast, wherever that may be, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We're there. And if you listen to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please make sure to give us a 5-star review. But if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please make sure to leave us a comment. Okay.
This comments now.
Yeah, we need comments, man. We need comments. We need comment. We need help. We need to know what you guys think. Please help us out. Also, subscribe to that YouTube channel. All right. If you want to see the beautiful faces that we got here, go to the YouTube, Knicks, Jets, etc. Yeah. We out here
right now.
Yeah, man. Got 104 subscribers. We're doing starting to we're seeing that you guys are following us and helping us out. We greatly appreciate our listeners and our supporters. So if you haven't already, please make sure to go subscribe to that YouTube channel, hit that like button when you watch a video, and also hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. While you're there, we got Winning Picks Weekly. We talked about it earlier in this podcast. John, video producer Greg, do a great job going down the NFL slates. They're doing playoffs right now, NBA betting. Come on, guys. We all know you're betting out there. It's legal in New York, all right? And it's probably legal wherever you're doing. If you're doing Prize Picks or whatever prop betting site, daily fantasy, come on, guys. You got to come through. You'll get all that information. So make sure to check these guys out. I'll be hopping in, giving you some of my basketball takes because doing a little too much, man. Doing a little too much. You know what it is. But let's finish this up. Guys, please make sure
responsibly.
Bet responsibly, like I'm doing. But guys, make sure to follow us on all social media platforms, whether that's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all those platforms.
Name it, we are there.
We are there.
That's my favorite Alex line.
We are there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another episode.
Let's get a couple wins, baby. Oh, wins this week.
There we go. John's activated today after a very good weekend of good football and a Knicks win.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another Knicks episode. We'll catch you later this week. We out.
Let's go, Knicks.